I have been missing dialoguing with you all. I feel like I miss you. I don't know what you're up to, and uh, I've just been away in this slumber and healing from the flu, and it's a slow process. Pretty much all of February so far has been that. It's really requiring me to be very observant and mindful about where I'm putting my energy and my focus. And it's been a blessing because prior to that, I was feeling so fueled by just this urge to defend so many things and myself and my path and how I've gotten here, which feels like sometimes nowhere really. And it's just this, this this pressure of wanting to be seen, but seeing that all the systems that generations have worked so hard to churn and so slow moving are just being dismissed so fast and so easy. And anyways, it gets me going in a different direction, and I've chose to dedicate myself to a spiritual path because when I faced a crisis of health and I was face to face with my future self. You know, how am I going to be moving forward? How does life look? And what is this purpose? Um, the spirit of life that was inside of me and that is reflected all around in everything is what my path is choosing for me to show, to burn through some of the illusions, to bear the light, to voice and vocalize things from a standpoint of authenticity and truth. And I have so much experience that I want to share with you. Um, and it doesn't come out all at once. It's something that we together in our work, we unearth, we reflect within each other. Part of being a healer is not that you are healed completely. That's not the case. That's a misconception. The idea of working with healing energy and energetic healing is that we help another to see the healing potential within themselves. So I want you to remember that there is potential within you, a healing potential. And there's so many dimensions and realities with which that can come into fruition. And we share one reality. So, not that there's multiple realities, but dimensions, perhaps, it's more when I'm speaking with, and universalities, potentially even. There's realms that we traverse in our day to day. But I wanted to share with you a really interesting interaction that I had. Went to get my hair cut last night. Um, just a little self care. It had been a year, and it was time. The hairdresser just happened to have an appointment that evening, and I had the evening free. I didn't know this person, so interesting in these times, the courage it takes to step into places that you aren't familiar with people you don't know, and then trust them to do what they say they're going to do. Just how many levels that takes, I think, as a person, we take for granted sometimes because we're so used to giving ourselves away. It's like we sign up for the job, we go, we give our full selves without really much question. Do we trust who we're working for? I mean, I don't know. Do you? That might be a question you ask yourself. And how do you go about formulating that narrative? Who told you that? Is it because it's someone that your um, father worked for, or your father's father? Or, it's interesting to me. And through different phases of life, I feel like I've burned away belief systems and restructured, and I've done this very consciously over my life because I've gone in. I've been a very wide open person in my life to where I want to believe the best of everyone, and I will listen to that over what a person is directly telling me sometimes about themselves. Um and it's burned me. So, anyways, I went to get my hair done, and immediately when I got in there, I had a feeling like, ooh, I'm not sure if this is my place. I live in a rural town. There's about 2,000 people here, and I don't really know what I meant by my place, but you know, hairdressers in the past that I've gone to is it's open, it's expressive, it's love wins, we're in this together, that becomes like commonplace, and then you kind of forget, you know, that it is not the same in other places where you go. So, um, anyways, it's become my challenge to communicate in a way where I am letting go of what I've known to be normal in the past because it's not here, and embracing that I am not normal and that I don't fit into a box, but I can still communicate for myself and I can still advocate for myself and what's important for me. And I have like lots of notes over the past couple weeks that I want to share with you at some point in time. I've been writing a ton because I've been in a feverish place and I have been receiving a lot of just inspiration through that experience. Um, Self advocacy is so important, but that's not where I'm going to go with today's. That'll be another topic for another time. But today, I really just wanted to talk about this conversation and how it shifted and what I had to do to shift the way I was feeling in this space, which was potentially vulnerable, very vulnerable, um, perhaps threatened because my opinions or my beliefs were maybe not in resonant with what I had assumed this person's may be, and how we chose instead to engage in communication, and we were able to find more things that we relate to than I would have really anticipated in a 45-minute hair session that were deep. And I think there's something to be said about that because, we talked about a lot of current kind of issues in ways that did not divide us. So that's something in itself. Now, there's a belief. What I couldn't grasp was where then is this split that we can see eye to eye on so many things, but then where this split is that I that this, that a large collective of people are not on board with rights for all the same. And it's almost detrimental to their own self. And what I think I picked up on was that one of the most important things for this person that I was engaged with was that they didn't want something being taken away from them. They said, I just want my job and I just like having my house. And that's just what I, I need in my life. That's just what I like. And that's all I have. And that's all I really want, which I could totally understand, you know. So I think there's a big idea that we need to really examine in our lives, that if somebody is doing better than they were before, if somebody is doing better than when you saw them last, if somebody has chosen something in their lives that's going to better them, that doesn't take anything away from you. There's no law in the universe that says that if someone does better now than they did before, that means someone else is doing worse. Like you're going to result in doing worse. No, that's not how it works. And, people will unconsciously sabotage their own friends, their own family, their own loved ones, because they believe that if they do better, then they're going to leave the rest behind. And that is the case in some, but not in everyone. And so, if, it really is like stumping me. But I just wanted to say that because I want to pose the idea that maybe, in fact, if someone begins to do better for themselves, that just allows you the window, the opportunity to also then do better for yourself. It's creating a new scale. It's creating a window of sight into something that may have been beyond your grasp when you began the stage that you're in. So that's a very closed mindset, and we really want to move into more of like a growth mindset, because our growing never stops and our learning never ceases. And I'm seeing such incredible amounts of wisdom and just the ability for our collective, for our people, to find data and find the realness of what's beneath everything that we're being like fed right now, into things that are like tangibly being able to like to graph it out, to write it out, to structure things in ways that are comprehensible to those who don't have the bandwidth to dig for themselves. So, being open to information and just letting go of the capitalist mindset that your neighbor doing well means that you're not doing well. The competitiveness, the eager competitiveness that our knee-jerk reactions to everything get. Let's challenge our own reactions. Let's respond in different ways. If somebody's getting something new for themselves, if somebody's upgrading their life in some way, it does not mean that you're doing worse. It doesn't. That's not what that means. It means there's new scales. It means there's new tipping points. And if you're not familiar yet with the concept of Ubuntu, then I really suggest you find some clarity in this concept and really hold it into your gut, really bring it down into your body, because it's so enveloping of the sense of community and care that we're moving towards or reaching for, that my colleagues and I are aiming to bring and hold space for as we move perpetually forward. This concept was first introduced to me by a teacher colleague who was beginning her own preschool, and she wanted this center to be all encompassing and to be community centered. And Ubuntu is originated in South Africa. Okay, and it could have been from another phrase, but most popularized by Desmond Tutu and Nelson Mandela. Okay, so this is where Ubuntu comes from. And I honor these origins. As a white person, I have so much to learn. And I think this is a beautiful concept. I got this from the website thecollector.com, which is a great site for history, articles, all types of different information, stories, whatnot. But Ubuntu translates to I am because we are. And it's a philosophy. It's a philosophy, a way of life. It's a way of life. It's not even just like a belief. It's a way of being. And it's emphasizing how interconnected everyone is. In being interconnected, we receive that need of belonging, because that's a need that we all have. And it creates unity, okay? There's shared responsibility, there's trust in each other, and interconnectedness and community. And this shortened phrase, I am because we are, Ubuntu, could have come from a longer phrase that also means a person is a person through other persons. So the source of knowledge is in community. It's not in an individual. And I just think that's really fascinating. And I think it was really fascinating to have this interaction, which we both really enjoyed last night, even though I was getting my hair shampooed and I thought, I need to get out of here, and I need to get out of here fast. This is not the place for me. And instead I asked a question. I said, what do you mean that the current administration is handling the relief of Hurricane Helene better? What do you mean? And her understanding was misinformed by media. And we have to remember that so much of what we base our beliefs from can be misinformation directly fed to you for the purpose of creating division. And I asked that question because I needed to know before I was going to let this lady hold scissors to my head. I needed to know what she meant by that. And she recoiled. She said, oh, I just meant that, they seem to be getting more aid now. And I informed her. I said, well, that FEMA was there at the beginning, and there has been a lot of aid from the beginning, and there's also really amazing collectives there that are still building homes, that have been doing this work for years before even a crisis occurred. They have this structure set up so people are being fed food that would otherwise be thrown away. Poor people are given food, because it's there and otherwise going to be thrown away. Why would we throw away perfectly good food if there are people who are hungry? anyways, we talked about lots of different things from there. Her husband is a colon cancer survivor, much like myself. And she also believes strongly in natural forms of healing. She is a Christian woman. So when I mentioned divination as part of my work, this again took her back a little, but she was also open to understanding what it was I do. And in the context of that work, we talked about the way the internet makes everyone an expert, but no one really knowing much at all. And we talked about the way that we've become a society of back porch people instead of front porch people. And what it's like to move into the sticks again after being in communities that are more up to date and developed, and among other things. So, anyways, I just wanted to share that with you because we really are we really are in a time where we can't isolate ourselves anymore from the people that are around us, because there might be a belief that we have different from them. And I think it is a challenge, and maybe a challenge that I'm willing to accept, is to how well can I hold myself accountable? How well can I express the reasons and the whys for which I believe the things that I do? And how willing am I to hold the door open for someone who doesn't see things the same way that I do yet? This is part of my work, and I'm committed to it, and I love you for being here. Thanks for listening to my talk. And I am not sure where I'm posting this yet, maybe to Instagram or to YouTube, but I'm still here. I haven't been doing a lot of energy work, obviously, because I'm, you know, resting and recuperating. I will be in events starting in March. It's gonna be a fast spring, I think, because things are really getting going, and the people that I work with, we're ready. We've been ready for this, for us to get together, um, to do this stuff. We have the capacity for it, and I'm really amped to see what will be growing this year, because we've got some really great eggs. We've got some really great eggs and really amazing, amazing seeds set in the soil. I really hope you choose to join us in whatever capacity, whether you make it to an event in Punxsutawney or in Cuba, New York, or in Pittsburgh, or, you know, maybe even here in Kane, we're looking at maybe getting something together, or wherever you are. I urge you to seek out the people who are committed to staying true to themselves. And also, I'm available not just in person, but online. If you want to talk and have an intuitive coaching session that doesn't use divination, I'm open to that. I don't need to use that. I rely less on the tarot. I like it for entertainment purposes and for my YouTube channel, but if you want to just talk and console and set some goals for yourself that I can help you hold accountability to, then let's do that. I'm talking about spiritual enrichment opportunities. I'm talking about ways that you want to get closer to yourself, who the divine is within you, and also the divine within nature, your true nature, your truest nature, nature, Mother Nature. You know, it's all part of the fabric here. I am also open to doing distance healing. If you have ailments and you're not able to make it out of the house, I can do Reiki, I can do energy healing at a distance without you being present. It works, people. You really, I know it's one of those things that sounds, it's whatever it sounds like. I'm not sure what it sounds like to you, but it is what it is, and it's what I'm doing. So, anyways, there's meditation, because a lot of people want to get closer to themselves, and they do it by getting quiet. And that's been my practice the past couple weeks, is just really being quiet. And meditation looks different for everyone. It does not have a right or wrong. You can throw the rule book out and, create a practice that works for you. Sorry if my camera's been shaking. I'm holding it on the couch when I'm talking. I just have a lot of things that I've been wanting to catch up with. And yeah, so the website houseofthemysticalmaven.com is running. There's a couple books up there for purchase. You can download right away. They're $15 a piece, I think. One is a poetry book, and then the other is art and mandalas, meditating with mandalas, for positive personal transformation. And I think that's going to be all that I say for now. There's a community board of events up on the website. There's meditation packages you can purchase for sessions, 5 sessions or 10 sessions. And then also, other services as well. I hope that you're faring well. I hope that we can connect. And I hope this message has served you, my friend. I love you. Mwah.